A Xenoblade Chronicles X video? On my channel? What is this, 2019? How's it going, everyone? K-Jewelers here with, a bit of an unexpected announcement. Earlier today, I was sitting at work, grading some papers, just being productive, and then I'm greeted by the announcement that Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is now a thing that exists, or rather will exist on March 20th, 2025. We were only given a short teaser in the form of a 3-minute video, but there are a couple things that we can glean from it. First, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition seems to have an overhauled art style that brings it more in line with the numbered Xenoblade Chronicles titles. The models are the most noticeable place that we see this, but the lighting and overall design of, well, everything seems to have gotten this same treatment. While Xenoblade Chronicles X was a very impressive looking game for the Wii U, the faces were a bit uncanny to me, and I greatly appreciate the decision to make each of the pre-existing titles look a bit more consistent. I'm not opposed to the Xenoblade titles having more diverse art styles similar to the Legend of Zelda series, but it just kind of feels right, at least for those that seem to be tied under the same story umbrella. Next, and likely the most promising detail, is the prospect of a new story edition as indicated by the final shot of the trailer. I'm going to be discussing spoilers related to Xenoblade Chronicles X, so I figured I would offer a warning in case you'd like to stay spoiler free. This whole video is pretty much going to be that, so here's your chance to click away. Alright, let's get into it. The final shot comes directly from the original Xenoblade Chronicles X's post-credit stinger. After his transformation into a chimera during the final boss battle in the Lifehold, Lau, a pathfinder in Xenoblade X's hub world of New Los Angeles, as well as the best-written character in the game, awakes on a beach while a cloaked-in-black figure stands over him. We originally had concept art of this character, their skull, and a look at the in-game model. However, this shot of them removing their hood is completely new to this title. Aside from outside resources, the best in-game thing that we had was this long shot, so we have a much better look at this character now. What really intrigued me is that the model looks different from its previous counterpart, and actually shares a lot of similarities to Lau's Pathfinder outfit if you look at the lines on the pants and boots. Combine that with what the Black Knight says at the end, "Fancy seeing you here," and it seems to imply that perhaps these two were in a similar unit or have a shared history. Perhaps the most peculiar details, though, are some of the similarities that the original Xenoblade X model has to Mobius, with the intricate and layered armor, as well as the spot of purple energy embedded in the chest. When examining the world of Ionios, it's kind of interesting because that's all about being in the Endless Now, this cycle that you pretty much can't escape from, and Mira has a lot of strange details about it that kind of overlap. More on that later, but does this mean that Mira is in the Endless Now? Probably not, but it's fun to think about regardless. Now, before getting too into the weeds, something I believe that is important to address is, why am I covering this news at all if I barely talk about Xenoblade Chronicles X on this channel? Well, there's a couple reasons to that. First off, I don't hate the game. I have gone on record saying in my previous reviews on Xenoblade Chronicles X that I thought it was a good game, just not for me. I've said that the exploration might be the best in the series, the music is still very solid coming from Sawano, and I like some of the combat decisions like targeting specific parts and switching between ranged and melee combat. However, my desire for a richer core narrative in line with what Xenoblade Chronicles had done previously does weigh heavy in my assessment, leading to the sentiments I had toward it. Yet, here we are with a definitive edition of that game that already promises new story content, which will likely become more ambitious as it tries to connect it to the other Xenoblade Chronicles titles, alongside the chance that minor nitpicks like the overly complicated UI and tiny text could be rectified. Hell, from the brief trailer, it already seems like the audio balancing has been fixed. In addition, Xenoblade Chronicles X is the only title to tout multiplayer, albeit a limited form of it. I remember my old roommate and I trying to play together over winter break in college and being sorely disappointed by the experience. Despite trying to go for what seemed to be a more MMO-like experience, Xenoblade Chronicles X's online play kind of felt shallow and not that enticing to me. With Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, there's a chance this core feature could be reworked to be more involved, perhaps allowing players to explore Mira, or at least a whole continent of it on the same server. This idea is incredibly exciting and would allow me to create a number of challenges to play and record with friends. The potential for that is endless, really. I mean, we could do scale racing, there's like different challenges you could do from jumping from higher ground, as somebody suggested on the Xenolympics video. There's so much that you could do, and I think that could be really fun. Another addition that is really helpful for people that create content on the series in particular is a potential event feeder. Xenoblade Chronicles X did not have one, so having the ability to take a look at those cutscenes and customize perhaps your outfit of your avatar, or the weather, time of day, so on and so forth, would be really great for videos. Ultimately, do I think that this game will fix some of my issues with the core narrative and its depth? Not exactly, as I think it will be similar to the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition we got with minor changes. Yet I do think that the added story, depending on how long or deep it goes, could recontextualize and make some aspects better, and that's what has me actually incredibly excited because I want to see what they do and how crazy they get. I'm a story guy through and through, and that's why I get so jived about seeing, okay, wait a minute, what can we do here? How bonkers can we get? I know a lot of people rag on the ending stinger line of, "It's something about this planet," but I actually liked that line because it delved into an extraordinary component and a mystery to be discovered. The problem is, it ended the game, a game that did not really seem like it would get a follow-up. However, now we have a prime opportunity to flesh that out and give it more impact. Like I said, that is incredibly exciting to me, and I'm very much willing to give the story another playthrough to see what they accomplish. Now to the fun part. The crackpot tinfoil hat theory section where I throw random stuff at the wall and finally get the chance to say, oh my god, I was right, when one of those random theories is 2% correct. At the end of Future Redeemed, Project Exodus is mentioned as a way for humanity to begin colonizing the stars. However, this does not align with that of Project Exodus from Xenoblade Chronicles X, a plan to evacuate humanity off of Earth following the Ganglion attack. One of these is proactive, while the other is reactive. Despite Lyn saying, "Our native home was gone, swallowed in a shroud of light," which seems to align with what happens in the story we are familiar with from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, I don't think there can be any overlap here, given that the frickin' planet blows up in Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's a far cry from what happens in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. If we examine references in Xenoblade Chronicles X, it would also imply that the Nopon in this game have knowledge of what is going on in the world of the Bionis and Mechonis, because yeah, I can accept Monado hairpins and the Sword of Legendaryness as Q references, but I cannot accept that Tatsu mentioning hom-homs in the middle of the final battle is meant to be a bit of levity just for the sake of it. That line has always stuck out to me. There's intent there, and it makes everything confusing, especially when you consider that Mira is effectively stuck in a space-time anomaly, and the number of weird occurrences, like the Mimiosomes being able to survive despite the destruction of the data within the Lifehold, and Lau's return to human form despite being a chimera. One theory I considered was this is all a simulation, perhaps conducted in a study of the conduit under Vector, as we know there are star players in this whole shebang following Future Redeemed. However, the timeline wouldn't make sense for there to be knowledge of the world of the Titans unless these things existed in the world before Klaus hit the button and he recreated them according to his memory. If Nopon existed prior to the birth of the universe, then potentially that term and their race were things Zanza brought back into this new world. It would explain why similar creatures, particularly Nopon, exist in both worlds. The same would go for Frontier Village to acknowledge that reference, but that does not explain the Monado hairpins, one of which is missing, weirdly enough, nor the Sword of Legendaryness. It's all really convoluted, and I don't want to drag out this video too much and get off topic, but I am very curious to hear your theories. What do you think? Are you happy X is getting a definitive edition, or are you not? What do you think is going to happen with this crazy, weird epilogue second part of a story here? Personally, I'm still subscribing to the idea that Mira is some sort of simulated world tied to the conduit due to the strange variables afoot, like its missing status on any star chart, the ability for all species to mingle without needing to understand other languages, and the strange nature of the Lifehold, both as practically unnecessary in keeping humanity alive and taking the shape of the conduit. But regardless, feel free to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I will definitely be reading through those and responding to them as I can, and I will be covering other news on Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition leading up to its release date in March. That is crazy soon. It's like 5 months away. What is going on? And you know what? Maybe this will actually be the perfect time for me to finally get my ass in the gear and create that Lao character analysis that I've been thinking about doing for years at this point, yet I only have 2 Xenoblade Chronicles X focused videos on my channel. Regarding other content, I do have some more Xenoblade goodness coming in the form of a very long video in December that has been ready for months, so I hope you are looking forward to that. And I'm currently finishing the script for another analytical video that I would like to have out in November, but it may lead to potentially double dipping in December. We'll see what happens with that, but I'm very excited for that. Thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I greatly appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. And on that note, until next time.